you, hears through you, touches through you, eats through you, and does a lot of things through you. Uses your sexuality, uses your imagination, uses everything in you, and lives in you. And they are very attached to you. They are madly in love with you. See, when you go to an exorcism and you see the person that is being exorcised, the demons cry. They get desperate because they don't want to leave the person they possess. They are madly in love with them, and they know they're going to destroy them at the end. You notice a psychopath, when they kidnap somebody and rape them and do all kinds of stuff to them, they are in love with them. They are madly in love with the victim. Madly. But they know they're going to kill the victim at the end. That's the end of the whole thing. That's the same thing with the devil. The spirits of evil are madly in love with us. That's why it's so difficult to overcome a vice. Because a vice is like a bad lover. You see how hard it is for people to stop smoking, to stop over drinking alcohol, to stop impure sex, to stop stealing, to stop lying, to stop being envious and revengeful. It's very difficult for people to stop that because they are spirits and they get you in love. They get you to love that vice, to love it, to enjoy it, and you know it's killing you. You see, every vice is destroying you, and you know it is doing that, but you still can get rid of it, even though it's a bad lover. And what do you have to do with bad lovers? You have to, one day you have to get up and walk away and do not look back. But somehow we have this self-destructive nature where we have a bad lover, and the bad lover hits us and beats us, but we can wait for the bad lover to come back and hit us again, you know? That's the way it is. That's what sin is about. So, sin is a spirit. Every single sin is a spirit, is a person, and we have a relationship with that person. You see, envy is a hierarchy of demons. Envy. And when we are envious, we have spirits of envy working with us. And therefore we're dealing with persons, individuals. They are alive, they are creatures, they have been created by God. And they are that, they are envy, they are a spirit of envy. So they come and they follow us, they get us to be in love with envy. And then we belong to that spirit. And that envy alone can drag us down, all the way down to hell, if we do not divorce that force. So demons have no power, but we are able to give them power. So that's why if you have money and you share your money with someone that is bad, with a criminal, with someone that is going to do wrong with the money that you give them, that money that you are supplying is hurting people, is doing wrong. So the person that is taking your money is using it to do bad things. So you're using your power that God gave you, that money, in order to share it with someone that is hurting people with it. So God gave us a treasure to hold. Our life is a treasure. And not telling what it means when we are baptized and we have been given the sacraments we have been given as Catholics. We have an amazing treasure that is the littlest weapon against the devil. And that's why demons want to use it, because they can only act through us. You see, when St. Paul explains about spiritual warfare, and he says, our battle is not amongst us, it's not among blood and flesh, but with the spirits that roam the earth, with the principalities and powers of the dark. They want to destroy us. They are envious of us. They hate us. We are created in the image of God. We remind them of God, and also we are inferior to them, and still we are going to enter heaven where they can never come back. So imagine how much envy they have against us, how much they hate us. They can't stand us, and they have to see us all the time because they are here. And you see, something very important to know about spiritual warfare. the book of Revelation, chapter 12. If you read it through, you find a place where it says that the one that used to accuse his brothers in heaven was thrown down to earth. It doesn't say that it was thrown down to a cave or something like that. It was thrown down to earth. And it shows us where they are. They are here. And Jesus comes along and says, the prince of this world is Satan. Then St. John says, the whole world is in the hands of the devil. And Jesus is tempted in the desert by Satan 3 times. And the Lord shows us the trinity of temptations for us to understand what they do to us and how they work. Within those 3 temptations, involve all temptations. If you really study the 3 temptations of Jesus in the desert, you will exactly know how the devil works against us. Those 3 temptations are everything they do against us. They contain every single spiritual battle against us in those 3 temptations. Because you see, one is turn those rocks into bread. Use the power you have to do and solve all your problems. That's the Christianity I was speaking to you this morning. The hybrid Christianity of the miracles and the wonders. You see, turn that rock into bread. God gave you the power. Hallelujah. Let's claim the power of Jesus. Let's claim my health back. And let's get my abundance. God wants me to be wealthy and healthy. See, let's go for the power. That's the first temptation, right? That's why this Christianity is so popular today. Everybody's into it. Oh yes, the God that can deal and heal your prosperity and heal your bad liver. That's it, you know. Let's do it. Turn those rocks into bread. You can do it. You are a son of God. God gave you the power. First temptation, spiritual pride. The other one, he takes Jesus into the mountain and shows him the powers of earth. And he says, all of these have been given to me. If you kneel and praise me, I will give them to you. So the worshipping of material things, the worshipping of humanity. You see, a great teaching about spiritual warfare. When you allow another human being to take your peace away, and when you depend on human beings for you to be joyful or sad, you are worshipping them. That you turn them into gods, into false gods. You are adoring people. See, if someone has the power to take my joy away, or to give me joy, and I depend on that person to be happy or unhappy, I'm worshipping them. They are gods. They are no longer human beings. The only one that could be the provider and the fountain of my joy will be God only. I could never depend on human beings to be happy or sad, because that would be worshipping people. And that's one of the greatest faults of humanity. Most people do not depend on God. They depend on people to be happy, and depend on the world, or the events of the world, the material world, emotional gain, so many things like that. And that is worshipping the world and worshipping creatures, not worshipping the Creator, not worshipping God. That is the biggest temptation. And remember, the devil says, all of this has been given to me. When you read the book of Job, there is something really powerful in the beginning of the book. It says, God was gathering his children. Children, he said, his children. And among them came Satan. So he called him a child, because he was with his children, right? And he asked him where he had been. He was talking about being on earth, and God asked him about Job. And he said all the things you remember. Probably you remember what you read is very good.